I think for anyone who's an artist who wants to be a recording artist, or anyone who wants to get in the music industry, I think you cannot pick a better time. I think it's great. I think that obviously with the advent of file sharing at the beginning, which was digital piracy, which got most of the notoriety, the interesting thing about file sharing is it's hard. If a record wasn't purchased in the first place, how can you prove that that record wasn't purchased because of file sharing? You can't. So, I mean, any argument with regard... The days of the widespread infringement on Napster are over in the same way that it was happening, in the wholesale way that it was happening, and with Grokster. There's always going to be infringement, just like there's always going to be the person on the street corner in a city like New York City selling, a copy of the latest movie that's in the theaters or a DVD. I think file share, I think that digital dissemination of music is going to turn out to be a great thing for people. I think something like an iPod or other MP3 players are going to be great for a lot of people. I know I listen to music religiously. I mean, music is pretty much my life. So it's not unusual for me. I mean, iPod or other MP3 player is a great accessory for me. But I know people who, most normal people, don't listen to nearly as much music as I do, who have either purchased or received MP3 players as gifts, and it's transformed their life with regard to being music consumers. They're buying more music. Even purchasing one song, it might spur them to buy a whole record. I think that a little bit of self-regulation or a little bit of externally enforced regulation that's happened to the record industry is always going to be a healthy thing. They're going to have to find out how to be economically viable in a market which some might say is going to turn into more of a single or single download market, where they're digitally bundling music for half the price they used to sell it for. Ultimately, music is never going to go away, and the more ways you can get music into the hands of consumers who buy it, whether it's for less money or not, I think is going to end up being a positive thing. And I think it's a great time. I also think that with the advent of the internet, like I'd mentioned previously, for artists who used to be on a record label or who have a core fan base of a few hundred, 5,000 people, anywhere from a few hundred to 10,000 people, even if you don't have a record deal, from now on, you're going to be able to sell your record and make money online, whether it's digitally or whether it's through your own website or whether it's through a myriad of websites out there. The Orchard, CD Baby, obviously, is a prime example of an independent retailer. I think it's a great time to be in the music industry. I really do. I think the future is as bright as it's been in a while. One of the biggest issues that people are going to talk about in the music industry is shrinking. Before there were X amount of players, then it's down to 4, then it's down to kind of 3. I mean, the consolidation of the record industry, I think, is potentially problematic, because I think consolidation or antitrust issues or, focusing on just a few entities is problematic, I think, for any industry. I think competition and variety is healthy. That's something as well which I think will self-regulate itself. I think it's a great time to be in the industry. I think that also I think it's going to be a great time for independent labels and for internet-based record labels in the future. I mean, there are going to be record labels out there who are only sell on the internet. Great point. Maria Snyder, who won a Grammy, she's the first person to win a Grammy for a record that had only internet sales. That's tremendous. That's great. I mean, she was able to skip the brick and mortars, and I think brick and mortars are going to be around for a while. I'm just saying she was able to find a way with people that she works with to sell her record in a new way. And I think there are going to be a lot of ways for people to do it. The internet obviously isn't a cure-all for all people who want a career in the music industry, because if your band has a website, you can be guaranteed that there are a million other bands you're competing with. So you still have to learn how to market yourself, things of that nature. But if you've achieved any level of success, even if it's small, you can really now utilize things like the internet to your advantage. I think it's a great time to be in the music industry. I also think it's a great time to be in the music industry for people, because people are generally becoming more educated on a lot of topical issues. Musicians are, they're concerned about it. Also, for musicians, home studio, people can record in their home studios. I mean, you can also do a lot of things without needing a record company. I mean, there are a lot of artists out there now who are now sustaining their careers on their own, who maybe were successful in a commercial sense 20 years ago, now just decide to put out their records themselves on their website. They might sell 10,000 30, 50,000 copies, but they can just record it themselves, put it out themselves, have complete control over the content. I think it's a great time.